And we are live to the second episode of the Dan Tucker Show podcast. To my right, I have Jared Yates joining me again, and Hallie Yates.
Who is not wearing headphones because they're uncomfortable.
Well, just go fuck off with you no headphone having ass.
We're the only people who like him.
Anyway, let's get this.
We're the only guests. We're the only ones who like him.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Oh, don't worry, there'll be plenty more.
You know, you would have probably been able to hear me if you had your fucking headphones
Well,
on.
you know, if they weren't uncomfortable, I would.
We're derailing Dan.
Which I'll actually go ahead and plug that now. If you would like to join the discussion on the Dan Tucker Show, please let me know via Facebook, and we can get you in here.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, that's right. Get
After
more
a brief
people on the show.
consideration.
Huh?
I said after a brief consideration.
Yeah. I mean, it's not for everybody.
Oh, man.
All right, so me and Hallie watched a new episode of Rick and Morty earlier.
Yeah, sons of bitches.
I'm in.
I'm out
It
there
wasn't that one, though.
working to pay our fucking bills.
Well, you
and
say it
you're
like I didn't
cheating
work
on me.
today.
Huh?
You say it like I didn't work today.
Yeah, but I worked, like, while y'all were doing stuff. So it's sadder.
I worked while you slept.
Oh, god damn it.
Done caught you.
I thought you were just trolling me.
We all need to have a fly swatter, that way we can knock our hands off the table. That we don't do this.
Well, I don't do that. They do that.
In my defense,
I'm
I had
aware
to
of the
point
table.
accusingly at Hallie.
Alright, so speaking of Rick and Morty, I guess our first topic of the day will be, if you were Rick and you had the portal gun, what alternate dimension would you travel to?
Oh, fuck, this one. Are we acknowledging, like, while we're in a pause, that you can, are we going to acknowledge that we fucked this up once already, and we're re-recording, like, a month later?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and acknowledge that because our audio was jank on the last recording. So
Maybe we won't, tangent as much this time. Or, like, bullshit argue over the rules. We were like
Yeah.
Sam Harris and Jordan Peterson arguing over what truth means for the
Yeah.
whole duration of, like, a 3-hour live lecture.
yeah, I remember that. That was a good. That was the one where they were debating religion, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what else would they be debating?
Yeah, I mean that was bad because like one of them would get up there and they would say like he didn't even answer my question. You know.
Oh, you're thinking of the one we watched with
Wait, are we talking
Hitchens.
about Rick and Morty dimensions? Or
Yes.
just
Yeah,
dimensions
let's
in
get back.
general?
Like it could be any dimension. It could be outside of the show Rick and Morty. It could be
Okay.
any like. As
I'm
if
going to
we
go
lived
with
in
a realistic answer then. And
Alright.
say the dimension where the Library of Alexandria never burned.
Oh wow, that's answer change actually.
Yeah.
I actually did like 4 or 5 months ago, long enough for me to have forgotten most of it by now. But the whole burning at Alexandria isn't exactly what people think it is, and they don't think we really lost as much as like knowledge that people are like, oh my god, we'll never get this back. It was mostly like accounting records and shit because they recorded like every fucking thing on these papyrus. But I remember
Still
looking
be
into it
helpful.
and being super underwhelmed by what I read. Yeah. It would still be, I mean, it was still a travesty. Well, that's like, no one really thinks about ISIS running around Iraq destroying like 100, 200,000 year old statues because ISIS. Like they're going into the museums and on purpose destroying a bunch of shit just for the sake of it. So that's pretty awful.
It's pretty awful.
I know. What
How did y'all feel about the statues being torn down not too long ago, like here in America? People want to destroy
Hey, I have a change of answer. Because if the library isn't actually what everyone says it is, then I'd rather just go to a dimension where Steve Irwin never got killed.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Because, oh my god, so many things would be so much better.
That's like
He was my idol.
That's like one of those innocent things where you do it and the genie's like, oh, there's no point in fucking him over here. Or it's like,
Like that.
he
like
fucks
that
with you anyway,
picture.
so like he survives the Stingray thing and then walks into traffic.
What about like a dimension where like the Spanish Inquisition
This
never
is not
happened?
a genie, though. This is a portal gun.
It is a portal gun. You're right.
Imagine how much further we'd be like technology-wise if the Spanish Inquisition and the repression of science had never happened.
I'd rather have Steve Irwin back.
there might be like millions of Steve Irwins if it had.
That's true, Hallie.
Because I don't know.
What are you talking about?
Like, you never know what would happen if an event that big happened. Maybe like the whole climate of the world changes to a point where people are less poverty stricken, so everyone can be animal rights activists if they want to, and not have to make a TV show to survive doing it. So everybody's
That's a
just
good
like,
thing.
yeah, we're all friends of the animals. So
Yeah? You said like it's a bad thing.
no, I'm saying like you said you would rather have Steve
Yeah.
Irwin alive. I'm like, well, what if that world has like a bunch of Steve Irwins, like a bunch of people just doing all sorts of good shit,
That'd be perfect.
or there's no need for them.
What if the-
Even better.
What if Steve Irwin didn't die? We were all living an Avatar-like existence by now, where we were one with nature.
What if in my universe that I originally came from, Steve Irwin didn't die when me and Hallie split the other night?
You gotta
But
talk about
if you're
that now
not
that you
telling
mentioned
us,
it.
then that means you are definitely an imposter and you mean us harm.
Kill him.
That's why I took the bottle opener at the beginning of the
Oh,
podcast,
God.
so I'd have a weapon.
Well, it's recording anyway, so at least maybe they'll know. Oh God, you can delete it afterward.
I can.
What's your
You're
bottle
not
opener gonna do against a metal
No one
rod?
will ever know anything.
I think if I can survive the first couple of strikes, I could get you.
I'm gonna
But
stab you.
We're getting off topic.
It's okay.
Uh,
We can edit this out, meaning Dan, maybe.
Yeah, as in Dan, you can edit this out. Edit that out, Dan.
I can edit. Yes.
Chives, edit it out.
So, Hallie picks a universe where Steve Irwin is alive. Dan, where do you go?
I'm gonna go with. I picked that we live in a universe, or I'd go to a universe where like superheroes were like an actual thing.
Like powers, supernatural powers.
Like people had the power to distort reality, and that's what superpowers are, I guess.
Okay.
Like break the
but,
laws of
like,
physics and stuff.
A lot of bad shit happens in those universes, and you wouldn't have powers. You'd be an NPC.
It'd be cool to watch, man.
Don't call Dan an NPC.
Just saying, that's where you'd end
I
up.
could be Batman. Batman didn't technically have powers.
You're a main
Yeah, and he's
character.
I am
also
broke,
the
though.
most overrated.
I am. Oh, Hallie gonna catch some flack for that.
I don't
Batman's
care.
super overrated.
Oh, I don't agree
He's
with
so
that.
irresponsible with his money. Like, he wants to just
He
be
is pretty
this superhero
irresponsible.
and get all this attention when he could have been donating billions of dollars to different charities and human rights organizations and
Hey, no, he don't already.
everything.
I will. The only flack I will legitimately take from our statements there is people calling us idiots because we haven't actually read the comics and we have no fucking clue what we're talking about.
Yeah, sure, but
only
nothing
going off
has
of
impressed
mainstream
me
shit.
enough to want to read the comics.
I want to. It's just like starting One Piece at this point. It's like, bro, they're on chapter like 1100.
That's how I feel about Supernatural, even though y'all are always trying to get me into it.
Yeah, well, but it's about to end though. The
Yeah.
comics, they're not fucking going anywhere.
Yeah. I don't know. By now, I feel like I should have had something to catch my eye involving Batman, and there's nothing. I have no desire to read the comics. He's boring as fuck. At least the way that's the way they portrayed him.
Yeah, that would be my look though. I'd be an NPC in my special
So what would be your universe?
I've been thinking about it while y'all been discussing. And
Pokemon universe.
Pokemon universe? No, I'm not even that big a Pokemon fan. I'm not even really that big a
What if
fan
you
of many
catch a Moltres,
things.
though?
Do what? Yeah, fuck you.
I thought about it. Oh, wait a minute.
What?
There's a supernatural universe.
Yeah, but you'd probably just be like a regular fucking schmuck.
But what if I became a hunter
I was about to say, that's like best case scenario is you become a hunter.
and then die? I probably wouldn't last for that.
God damn it.
You suck.
No.
Put a counter in the corner of the screen. How many times
I
Jared
have to smack his hand.
smacks the table?
Let's go. Stop watching yourself. I see you. I know because I'm guilty of it, and I
It's
can't
hard.
see the screen. So I
You're
don't
lucky though.
I know. Right now, I've been not researching. Like, that's giving it too much credit. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on Star Wars theory. So like subconsciously, I'm like, ooh, Star Wars. I've been learning all this shit about it, and all this cool shit's happening.
The Mandalorian's good.
Yeah.
Watch Mr. Plinkett's review of Star Wars. You won't like it anymore.
Don't do this to me.
Yeah, don't try
It's
to
a
take
legitimate.
away.
No, it's a legitimate review. It's like a couple hours long. He goes into a lot of detail. a lot of really valid detail that has ruined the whole series.
I think you could do that to anything though.
Yeah.
Like the Eagles with Lord of the Rings.
Well, they said that the Nazgûls would have ripped him apart.
Yeah, but
They needed them to
never
be weakened and
once in the
distracted.
movies did the Nazgûls whoop anybody's ass, except that one attack
That
on
was
the
the
base ass
reasoning,
humans at
though.
Gondor.
Yeah.
That was the reasoning, though. They didn't just not do it for no reason.
The
And
Eagles,
because
like,
it's a
fucked
fucking
them up in
movie.
hot.
There's more
need to have
Eagles
a
than
movie.
Nazgûl. The Eagles would probably rip the Nazgûl to shreds.
Yeah, they whooped their asses when they called them in.
Yeah, they were weakened though. That's just what whoever. I forgot his name.
Oh, Tolkien.
Yeah,
I think
it was
Tolkien was
him.
dead when they made the movie.
No, it was either him or the director. I don't know. Someone said it because
Yeah.
they got asked that question so many times.
Oh yeah, but that's just like a.
Chives, bring it up on screen.
That's a fucking.
It's your editor.
His name's Jamie.
His name's Chives.
Dan knows my references.
You clearly don't know.
So it would
Josh
either be
references.
it's like a toss up between like Star Wars and just because it's like
Star Wars universe would be an interesting one to live in for sure.
Well,
Even
yeah,
if
but
you're
we
not a fan of it, that would
we-
be just amazing.
well, and I've been the videos the people that do on the fan theories include like Legends and all the comic series and all the novels that Disney removed as canon because they're pieces of shit. And that is way more interesting than the movies to me.
Oh, yeah,
all of the
I can
old
see that.
shit, like how the Jedi and Sith came to being, that shit's awesome.
And the wars and all
I'm
that
a little
stuff.
surprised you didn't say like Naruto universe or something,
I don't know.
or like Lord of the Rings.
You've
kinda
seen
like
the,
aged
you've
out
seen
of
the list
Naruto
of
in a
like
way.
the most powerful Sith lords and like what they
Oh,
could
yeah.
do, right? Oh, it's unreal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, same with like Luke in the movies is a bitch.
Yeah.
Luke in Legends and all the other stories is a fucking monster. Like in the top 15 or 10 video of like Jedi Grandmasters, he was number 1 over Yoda in this guy's thing, and he was just talking about all the shit he can do.
Yeah.
But so right now I'd be stuck between that and like just a kind of like what you went for, where supernatural shit is around and about. But like, I don't know. I can't think of. I'm not clear enough on what universe I would want. I'll just say one where magic is real. So just like, I don't like maybe even like Full Metal Alchemist, which you don't know because you don't watch anime.
Don't even bring it up like that. I do watch anime. I just don't watch as much as some people.
Have you watched Full Metal Alchemist?
I watched a good bit of it.
Yeah. So like they're like where alchemy is real.
Yeah, that
That'd be legit.
yeah, it would be. But the really sad early on episode where it would
Everyone brings that up, especially when you know nothing of the series.
that's about where I watched it up to.
Dude, there's so many sad ones. Like the whole premise of the pilot is sad.
Yeah, that they lost their mom.
Isn't that
and
the
tried
one
to
that
bring her back.
Markiplier-
That's how they
basically
lose
in?
everything. They
Yeah.
try to revive their dead mom.
Not the one that Markiplier is technically in.
Their mom is like every unavailable dad in history. Yeah. Oh, he's in like all of them. Lieutenant Colonel Hughes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's Markiplier.
yeah, looks just like him.
But and even then the alchemy is a science, so it's like even if you're an NPC, if you like know, you can study the alchemy and become good or at least decent at alchemy. It's not like you'll be born completely mute of alchemical prowess. I think it's been a while since I watched it, and I haven't seen Brotherhood where they revamped it and made it higher quality and actually follow the manga storyline all the way through.
Brotherhood's pretty good. That's why I started watching.
Yeah, so we're on different timelines there too, because like one of the saddest moment in the series is when, spoiler alert,
Well, does Dan know?
Dan's not gonna fucking watch it.
You don't know that?
Don't spoil it for Dan.
Hey, go ahead.
And I don't know if Brotherhood does the scene the same way. I don't know if they play out the same. But Ed is fighting the homunculi, Greed. And Greed's whole shtick is he has this armor that nobody can fuck with, and it's over his whole body.
Oh, you showed me that. It's where he kills his first person.
Yeah, it's so fucking sad, man.
Because he was fighting him, but he basically had to do what he had to do, and then he's just like super sad. He didn't realize he's like,
Well, I rewatched it, Greed's death is intense. He like
He is.
like shakes up. Oh, that's on camera. That's gonna be on the internet. That's gonna be a fucking gift.
Good.
All right, I'm done there.
I think.
Super sad scene.
Well, damn, you made me lose my train of thought.
That's what I do best.
Trigun.
Oh, try.
When he
I
had
did love
to
Trigun.
kill.
though.
No, like the sadder death was when Bash had to kill what's his face,
Oh,
and he didn't want to.
the guy who can control people.
Yeah.
In the white trench coat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
I thought he
It's
was
been a
in
while
black
since I
armor.
watched it.
I don't remember. It's been a long
He's in
time.
like a white trench coat and has like these big spikes.
It was
on-
like
he has emo hair.
2014 or something.
That was his brother,
Last time
wasn't
I
it?
watched it.
No, he has to fight his brother at the end. He
Oh.
ends up actually not killing Knives, I think.
Yeah, I think he knocks him
Spoiler
out.
alert again. No, he like chemically castrates him essentially.
Yeah.
Like he makes it to where he's not really a threat anymore.
Yeah.
And then is like Jesus and turns the other cheek and lets him live.
Yeah, I would have killed him.
Oh, I would have probably. Yeah, well, that was like
All that shit you done been
Star
through.
Wars shit. If Obi-Wan would have just came up and murked Anakin instead of being like, oh, he's on fire and a nugget, he's probably dead. And well, he had like one limb. Impressive as fuck that after he caught on fire and the fires burned till they were just out and he was still alive, he kept dragging himself with his charcoal body on the edge of this lava river. I was just
Power of the Force and anger in general.
Yeah, I was
Let your
just like-
hatred take over.
I was like, damn, Anakin, you a fucking savage.
I know, right?
And I was like, if Obi-Wan would
He
have just
was
not
my
been a
favorite
bitch,
character.
you were my brother. You should have went up and cut that motherfucker's head off.
Yeah. He definitely
He
should have.
said
It would have
you were
stopped
the
a lot
chosen one.
of needless death throughout the rest of the series.
Yeah. Well, he does the whole "you were the chosen one" thing, and then Anakin is about to light on fire. He's like on the edge of the lava and looking at him. His eyes are all red because he's dicked up and he's filled with hate. And he just, it's a really, like, people shit on the dude who played Anakin, but that moment where he screams, "I hate you" to Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
that shit was raw.
It's very
and then,
raw.
And then Obi-Wan like pauses. He takes pause for like 5 seconds.
See, you sound like a fan.
I need to watch them. I've never.
You never watched them all?
You want to hear the ultimate
Really?
sin that's about to happen? That I'm about to get flamed
Have you
for?
not seen the movie you were talking about?
I've seen that one. I saw that one in theaters. I've seen all of the prequels. I've seen 1, 2, and 3, but none of the originals.
The originals still hold up pretty well. They did a good job at the time.
Watching Yoda from episode 3 and going to episode, like, what's he in, 4, 5, or 6?
Yeah.
I don't know, but whichever one he's in. And the animatronic fucking puppet shit versus CGI. I mean,
Well, he's older though.
yeah, true. I don't know. It's just hard to look at.
And all the
It's
Jedi
ugly.
died, so he lost a great deal of his power.
Yeah. Well,
Most
the
of the
other
Jedi.
the other Jedi being alive didn't really influence his power, though.
I don't know. I think because they always said the Force felt like it was dying or something.
The light side was definitely becoming weak. I also watched all of the animated series of the Clone Wars, which was
I've never seen all that.
dude, it was super good.
I've heard it is. I need to actually watch it sometime.
I need to actually watch the original trilogy.
You really do. It's good.
All right, next topic.
All right.
Baby, you know I love you. She's
Been
rolling her
silent
eyes
for like
at
There
us.
was something I had pertaining to Star Wars, and we was on it. Oh yeah, I remember now. Have you heard the theory that Jar Jar Binks?
Is a Sith Lord.
Yes,
Jar Jar?
I don't like that you don't say the R. The Jar
Jar Jar Binks
Yeah.
is a Sith Lord.
Yeah.
Whenever I found out that theory, I actually became somewhat disappointed they didn't make him one because I actually seen all of it, and I completely agree that I think
I
that's
thought that
what
was just
going
the
to
original
happen.
plan for him, and then they
Is
changed
he in
it.
4, 5, and 6?
And there's even recordings of yeah, he's in there.
Okay, I didn't know he was in those.
Oh no, he's not in the
Original
not in the,
trilogy.
No, he's in
Yeah,
the,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I've seen those, so I agree. Like all of the blunders and shit, it all makes sense.
Yeah, well, see that he was originally. You know who Count Dooku was, don't you?
Oh, of course.
Well, that's who he was supposed to be. They kind of just threw Count Dooku in there like last minute because like there was nothing about him in the first episode. He was just kind of like seemed like almost lazily thrown in there.
Yeah, after watching and listening to all this lore background on Dooku, they didn't give him credit either, like as much as he deserved, or whoever did I think Legends and all that stuff came out after everything. So maybe Legends just did it more credit than was due.
Yeah.
But the expanded universe he's pretty legit. He's one of the top tier Sith duelists of all time. Star Wars
Oh, wow.
lightsaber duelist. Yeah.
We had dual Yoda. That was a badass fight.
Yeah, well, and Yoda is, I think they said Yoda's a master of all 7 forms of lightsaber combat.
Ooh.
Yeah, but he chooses, like, everyone ends up going with a specific one. Mace Windu was actually one of, like, the highest tier duelists, and specifically his style was modified to be good against dark side
You
users.
say you're not a fan of Star Wars, but you know much more about it than I do, and I've seen all the movies.
While I've been working at the kiosk, that's what I've been listening to while I'm folding t-shirts. I've been listening to Star Wars fan theories.
Well, you've got 20 more days to watch.
No, well, so today's the 9th, right? The 10th now. I have effectively like 19 days left here.
Ooh, that's wild.
Yeah. So, and then I'm gonna kill myself. Just kidding. Just kidding.
All right, so I've got one for y'all. Since I brought up superpowers a minute ago, if you had a superpower, what would it be?
We'll start with Hallie. Hallie gets such little vocal time when we're not in her domain. We need to find a topic in her domain.
You said new subject like 10 minutes before that conversation ended.
Yeah, me and Dan get on tangents.
I know.
Like Star Wars?
All right, Hallie, superpower us.
I feel like you already know what I'm going to say, though.
I really don't, because I wasn't expecting your other answer, so
Well, it's the same one from before.
I don't remember.
To read minds?
No, that was
That was-
Jared's that I expected him to answer with. I was going to say shape-shifting.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
Because you could
shape-shifting.
turn into any animal or person. You could kill anyone you wanted and make it look like an animal attack. Or you could turn into someone else and kill them publicly and get that other person in prison forever. Or a death penalty. You could infiltrate anywhere, or you could be a hermit and no one could do anything about it.
Definitely has its uses. Like, you could be like Charlie Chaplin in the dictator
in the,
speech. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, if you
I'm
got
glad that
caught,
stuck with you.
like, breaking in somewhere, and you turn into something fucking ridiculous, what are they
You
going
could
to do
go-
about it?
You could
Even if they
literally
got a
go
gun.
to a like third world country that's got like an asshole of a dictator, sneak in, kill him, take his spot, then change everybody's lives there overnight.
I mean,
yeah,
you could do.
I
you could. Or well, you said, are we doing the thing we did last time?
I wasn't including that when I was thinking about it, so no.
Okay. But you're saying animals and everything else.
Anything
I mean,
living that I would like,
Yeah.
and any animal, which people are animals, so that, yeah.
I mean, what are they gonna? I mean, short of just murdering the fuck out of you, there's not really anything. Like if they lock you up, you can just turn into a rat and crawl
Yeah.
out.
And then, like, you ever try to shoot a hummingbird?
Why would I? No.
It doesn't happen. So you could escape so fucking
Obviously.
quick and then just be gone, because what are they going to track?
Obviously, you've never used birdshot. Anyway, Dan, superpower.
I would say. Do you have yours picked out?
You could turn into a guard. Pretend you got locked in.
Turn into a car. That's a little
guard.
much.
A guard.
Oh, okay. I thought you said a car. I was like,
Or like a bear. And then you show up. Why do we have a bear?
Yeah.
I would say control over matter in some way.
Yeah, that was yours last time too.
Yeah.
And we were debating how far we could go with the powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say I could control most matter.
Yeah. OP as fuck.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't know how I would deal with that kind of power. I don't know if I'd be really fucked up.
Yeah.
But you already know that. Crap the
but
world in my image.
That's always been one of the things I've liked about Superman that they haven't explored a lot. And I remember we talked about this last time.
Yeah. Quit bringing that up.
Huh?
Quit bringing that up.
Why?
Quit saying last time.
Oh. No. Live with your flaws, Dan. Overcome them. That's what we're doing. But, yeah, they never really explore that everything around Superman is effectively construction paper. like every single fucking thing.
Oh yeah, he could just tear it all apart, start his own thing.
I mean, if he sneezed too hard, he could blow away like Manhattan. Like just fucking, like, how do you even come in a woman?
Being
How do you
OP
even have
like that
sex?
would be.
Have you seen the movie Hancock?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
There is a
one.
deleted scene in that.
Where he's trying to have sex.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And he had told her, like, hey,
Don't stop.
when I get up there, you gotta listen and get off.
Yeah.
And then there was like a whole scene of him going, mountaintop, mountaintop. And she didn't fucking listen, so he threw her and he blew a hole through his roof.
Oh God.
It was amazing.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh.
They ended up cutting it out. But I
Oh
have the extended version.
no. No.
But yeah, I don't know, because, and then you got to think of, like, even if you're just like a manager somewhere, and some dipshit that's under you fucks up, and somebody comes in, and you could have like a whole lawsuit, you could have all sorts of shit over being the Dollar General manager, right? Imagine being the one guy on the planet that can stop the meteor.
Oh yeah, the legal trouble because like you could make the wrong call, one person
Well,
die, and then like, oh, you know.
Just the responsibility of it
Yeah.
in general. Not even like what are they gonna do? Shoot you? You're fucking Superman. Like, fucking flick them away.
Yeah.
But just the weight of the responsibility you have, like,
If you let anyone
let
know
someone
what you
die.
can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what if your ego takes over and you become like oh, you're like, oh, I'm God here.
If
I
you
mean, he
reveal who
essentially
you
was.
are, like,
What?
you don't have to tell anyone you can do that.
It's like
Well,
no one in
no, that's-
creation
that's-
can stop me.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying it like the other people holding me responsible. I'm talking about me holding me responsible.
You have
Because, like,
more
even
morals than
now,
I do.
when I see like our friends around here, like, I gotta pull this kind of off my ear so I can hear you more. Like, our friends around here, when I see them failing, I'm like, or like my family, I'm like, what could I have done? I could have prevented this in some way. Even though I know that's stupid and I couldn't. Like, they're gonna do it anyway. I always have that. If you were Superman and you could literally do anything, you literally save everyone if you know, if it's within your shit. I ain't even touching nothing. Why you hitting me?
Because you
Just because I
can.
can.
Yeah.
See?
So. Oh, but the power I would have, much like your matter control would be, I think I said this last time too, but gravity. Like, the most minute control of gravity to the point of like I
See,
can,
you guys are choosing
Oh,
fucking
you could
God
even like
powers.
control black holes then.
Yeah, we're OP.
You'd be basically like a walking
Compensating.
black hole.
Well, I'm talking to the point of you could be that, where you could just suck in the entire universe, or to the point where I could like pick up these crumbs telekinetically almost, because I'm like disrupting their gravitational field. What?
Nothing.
I legitimately can't hear your snide remarks now, and you know how bad that pisses me off.
Snide remarks.
Yeah.
She does that thing all the fucking time, where she like,
She's a
Well,
woman.
maybe you should listen.
She's a woman. She's doing that just enough so she know you can't hear it.
yeah, and
Maybe you
then
should
Women do
listen.
that.
and she knows it's one of my pet peeves.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a woman thing either. You misogynist fuck.
Oh, am I now? Damn. I'm sorry, Hallie.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to call you out.
Yeah.
Oh.
But she specifically is doing it knowing it's a pet peeve of mine.
I was saying you guys were compensating.
Oh, for our tiny, tiny, microscopic penises.
That'd be terrible.
So mine is like this, and then Dan's is like that.
I'm in that instance, I'm not happy being bigger.
That's how we maintain the dominance hierarchy right here. And then Hallie's is like,
Stop fucking lying. I got the 10.5.
if I'm gonna make one up, I'm gonna be like completely unrealistic.
We know, judging by your superpower.
Shut up, you're just a person who wants to fuck animals.
No, I'm a
Fucking
person who wants to
12-inch
rip
tuna
someone's
can?
throat out with my teeth.
12-inch tuna can. How thick would that need?
Like, I
to
mean,
be?
tuna can width.
12 inches of width.
Yeah.
Isn't that just like a brink?
Like, no, tuna can width and length of 12 inches.
That's at least.
That's way out of
It's
proportion.
just unnecessary.
Jared brought it up.
He brought it up, did he?
He did.
Right up, just shot straight up.
Dad's sitting in my lap, and we just talked about the first thing that came up.
Oh my god.
God, that joke is so old.
Finger guns. Shout out to Hannah. I'm bringing finger guns back. You don't remember that?
No, I can remember that. It was just lame.
You're fucking lame. Anyway.
All right, so I think we touched on this a little last time. Looking back at looking back at World War II, okay, there was, or actually World War One rather. There were several instances where Hitler was almost killed in like these freak accidents. Like there was a time that he was discharged from a medical tent, and just like right after he left, the tent got hit with an artillery shell. There was instances where his entire squad was gunned down, except for him and maybe like a couple more. He got shot, I think, several times during World War One. And it made me think, like some people think, that used to be a popular thing. I'd like to ask people in conversations, like, if you could go back, would you kill Hitler? Because you really have no idea, like, how different things would be. Because, that's not to say that he did some terrible things, but things could be worse if things went another direction. But I was looking anyway, and if you look at, like, the different parties and stuff that were around during that time, like, one argument was that it would have probably caused the end of humanity because, like, one way or the other, the power struggle between the Soviet Union and the United States after World War II would have been drastically changed. Mm-hmm. If one side knew that they was just far superior to the other, they would have, launched enough nukes that probably could have either damaged the environment of the world or...
Well, Operation Paperclip wouldn't have happened. Germany would have been a whole other power over there.
Mm-hmm.
I have a theory on that. It was just future Adam Sandler making a movie about time travel.
Oh, God. Just kidding.
And it's real shitty and real stupid.
That's what I was getting
But
at.
it ends
what
up
if there are
working.
people... What if there's actually groups of people, like, in the future that have been, like, trying to go back and, like, oh, let's go back and kill Hitler. And they did, and they fucked some shit up. Then another group had to go back, and it's just a never-ending paradox where they're trying to
And
kill
that
and
is
save
hysterical.
Hitler.
I imagine it like this. There's a guy like us sitting around bullshitting, and his only job is to monitor the time stream for somebody discovering time travel and traveling back to
Do you remember that old show? What was it, Time Force or something like
No,
that?
I don't remember that.
No, I don't know.
You don't remember that? It was a guy and a robot. They were on, like, Time Squad. That's what it was. It was an old cartoon. And they would, they went and picked up this little kid somewhere from, a timeline where they had messed up, like, going back. Anyway, they're all, like, going throughout history trying to fix things because apparently, like, as time progressed, like, parts of the thread of, like, the past, like, would start to unravel, and they had to go back and, like, correct things. Like, they'd go back and see a famous person. It was actually an interesting idea for a cartoon because it did teach you a little bit of history along the way.
Well, I imagine it like this. It's like me at the call center, except when a call comes in, it's like, hold on, Steve, we'll talk again in a minute. And he, like, puts on a mask and loads up a 12 gauge, like somebody's trying to kill Hitler again. Goes back.
Hitler's become too powerful.
Yeah. 12 gauge, he's probably got like a fucking...
Like, it's like you're watching it, and it's like you're watching the monitor, and you're like, oh God, Hitler just become a famous artist? It's like, no, hold on, I'll be right back.
Jeez.
We go get him kicked out of art school again.
Yeah. Well, and that was another thing that came up in those Star Wars theory videos.
You said new subject so long ago.
Well,
and I have no input on Star Wars.
This is less Star Wars and more theory.
Yeah.
So, there's this moment where Anakin gets told by this Force entity all of the future events of him killing Padme, becoming Vader, turning completely to the dark side, turning into a fucking Vader Nugget machine hybrid monster, and all the pain and all the everything.
Call him a Vader Nugget.
Yeah. Because he's missing his legs and his left arm. Well, he's got and his right arm's already robotic.
Yeah.
But so he's a nugget. But
he's a chicken nugget.
Chimkin Nugget. Anyway, the memories of that, of him getting told that, get erased later, so it all becomes a moot point. But this guy was like, what if, that was actually how balance could have been brought to the Force? What if everything would have changed, or would it have happened anyway? Because that's the main theory about time travel, right?
Yeah.
Is no matter what you go back and fucking do, it plays out anyway. Everything is going to happen the way it's going to happen because everything is constantly seeking balance.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. And there's no telling because, like, what if we're not even perceiving time in the correct way? Like, what if it's... Because it seems like time is an illusion anyway. Like,
it isn't. It isn't.
Yeah, well, yeah. Like, it's just the way that we perceive things is moving from one, past to present. Or, past to present to future. What if... Because I've heard several theories that it's all happening at once.
Yeah.
And everything's constantly influencing itself.
I've heard that. Recently, with some of the Jordan Peterson and other videos I've been watching, he describes us figuring out about time and the delaying of gratification as basically like magic and like a superpower.
Yeah.
Because like no other animal that's evolved can think like, oh, I'll not eat all of these fucking fish right now, and then come back a month later and there not be any fish because I ate too many.
Yeah.
Right? They can't figure, like, when we discovered...
Well, they don't
the
need
delaying,
to figure that out. They instinctually know to, like, hunt weaker things and slower ones.
I don't
So it
think
kind
it's-
of does it on its own.
She's kind of... I'm not exactly sure. You're kind of right. I know because like we're the only creature that doesn't like... what's the word? Doesn't...
Are you talking about the
we have a
everybody-
footprint. Like other creatures don't have that.
They totally have a footprint. We just have the biggest one
Oh.
because we're the alphas.
Well, we don't damage our environment like other species usually do. Not as
Yeah,
bad.
we
Other way
do.
around. Other way around.
Yeah.
You mean they don't?
Oh yeah,
damage
they
like
don't
we do.
destroy their environment quite like we do. They
No,
it
they
depends
tend
if you're
to.
classifying.
really.
Oh, yeah.
I thought more species.
I mean, invading species,
Again,
viruses,
as far as we know right now,
parasites.
as far as common science and knowledge is, we are the most advanced thing to ever exist ever.
Yeah.
As far as we know. Like, the odds of that being true across the universe are minimal, right? Like, the odds of there not being another species like us.
Yeah.
But as far as we know, at least on this planet, and as far back as we can track, we are the most
Which
advanced.
is not far at all.
So,
Yeah, it's a blink.
how do you feel about aliens?
Oh, dude,
I just hope they're not here.
You just hope they're not out there probing old.
I don't need probes in my life. I don't.
Did you not want probes?
Oh my god.
That's...
She's like, I just hope they're not out there probing Jim Bob 3 states over,
Yeah, poor old Jim Bob.
getting probed.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think... I would say 99% of people who are like, I was abducted, they're full of shit.
I'm gonna tell you something funny. Penn and Teller did this show where they're going around kind of tricking people, and they went to they had an
it called
abductee
bullshit?
episode.
Isn't it called bullshit?
Yeah, I think it is. Yes,
called
yes,
bullshit,
this is exactly what it's called.
It's one of
They
my
went to
dad's
this.
favorite shows.
They went to this sex shop and got like these vibrating anal beads. And they was talking to these abductees, and they was like, "Did you get probed?" And they was like, "Yes, totally did." And they pulled out that. And they was like, "Did it look like this?" Because they painted it silver.
Yeah.
They said, "Did it look like this?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's totally it." And it's like, we're going to hell for this.
You should have seen the episode they did on vaccinations.
Oh God.
Oh my god. You know they got people to like sign against
H2O.
the banning against dihydrogen monoxide.
Yeah, H2O.
They're like, it makes you sweat, it makes you urinate frequently.
It kills you in large doses.
Yeah.
It does.
It's in our food, it's in our water.
It's so easy to get a smear campaign against something like that. Like anything, really.
Dude.
That's why you're not supposed to just sign any petition that, you see has a good cause because it might not be real.
That's like the crusade against fat. Everything was fat free,
yeah,
and they
from the
just put
sugar
more
industry.
sugar in it.
Yeah. But the most terrifying... That one was terrifying because that was like scientists were paid off, and I'm like, you're supposed to be infallible.
You talk about
sons of
the
bitches.
fat?
Yeah, that one. But the scariest one of our time that I've seen is Sacha Baron Cohen's when he's interviewing those politicians.
Oh God, I know what you're talking about,
Oh my.
I don't think I've seen that one.
bruh.
It's an HBO special he did. He puts on he doesn't even look real.
Yeah.
He doesn't even look like a real person. And this politician, this like senator, congressman or something from Georgia, like is interviewing with him. He's supposed to be an Israeli like special against ISIS type
Yeah.
person, you know. And he gets this sitting official on camera to run around with his bare ass cheeks out, like screaming, "I'm gonna make you gay," because he says that's a tactic against ISIS.
Because they're extremely homophobic.
Yeah.
And he's got him like on his knees, like practically jerking him off. Like they go to grab him, and his
there's a
defense
video
mechanism
about
is to drop down and try to jerk him off. And this
And the
politician is doing
kindergartens.
it.
Kindergarten program.
The kindergartens.
Yeah, the
Where
kindergarten.
they want to put rifles in the hand of kids as young as kindergartners.
Oh.
Against school shooters.
Mm-hmm.
They convince this guy to say that, like, we're
don't
gonna
even
make it
convince
look
him.
like a teddy bear, and we're just like saying, point at the bad guy and pull the bang
That's a
trigger.
difficult decision.
Like,
It was like for like parents and
They-
stuff. It's like
yeah, but they
if you're going
make-
to teach your kids how to use guns, what's the appropriate age?
I don't even want.
That's not even
get off
the
of this topic
subject.
yet.
Okay, sorry.
Like-
I don't even want to get off this topic. It's the
He-
fact
he
these actual
endorsed it.
officials, people who were elected by other people to oversee us,
Yeah.
to lead us.
Are that gullible?
Well, they're not even. It's not even gullibility. They're just fucking idiots. Like they just literally
that was
have
partially gullibility.
like no, because he didn't. It's like me walking up and being like, "Hello, I am schooled in law. Can I represent you, Senator?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, that sounds good to me." Like what? This dude's like, "Oh yeah, I have this, and I've requested this interview," and he pulls his bare ass cheeks out
On camera.
and runs around screaming, "I'll turn you gay." Like, even if I believed, there's just I can't imagine a universe where I would believe that.
Yeah.
But I sure as fuck wouldn't do it on camera. Like,
No,
Do a
there's
lot
no
off
way.
camera.
I think that guy ended up resigning. But
God, I
how many
hope
people
so.
are like that? How many people across the United States are
Oh
like
my
that?
God! If you've ever worked in customer service,
I mean, I do, but
I think a lot of people go through more of life on autopilot than others.
yeah, but that's a fucking politician.
Yeah, I
Dan.
know.
That's one of the ones that are like, abortion is wrong. Like, bitch, you don't know not to run around screaming with your ass out at people. How the fuck are you supposed to be governing
your
us?
booty
Yeah,
means nothing.
it
I've
is.
seen
It
what
is
makes
sad
you cheer.
that some of the people that aren't, that's why politicians are supposedly supposed to be paid as much as they are, because it's to encourage some of the best among us to actually become politicians and leave the private sector. But you don't see it like. You don't see somebody who's really fucking educated becoming
Yeah.
a politician. You don't hardly see that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying all politicians are dumb. Not all of them are. There's some very smart ones, but you don't see it that often.
I think the saddest thing is it never seems like any of them want good for people.
They don't want change. That's the thing.
Yeah, and I don't know, especially in Mississippi, I don't know how you can't go around and see the way, because people, like when I watch Shameless, I'm like, oh, there's people here like that. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
People live like that. Like that whole scene where the kid was grabbing her bunny out of the toilet and then brushing her teeth out of it. And like the guy was dying, needing kidney dialysis, but they couldn't stop drinking and robbing and shit.
Yep.
And he was going to the vet to get dialysis. Like, that kind of shit happens around here.
It really does. They don't want change, man, because they're there for a reason. They're there for them. They're making corporations money. It doesn't matter which side you even choose anymore, Democrat, Republican. They all got their hands in somebody else's pockets.
That's why Yang Gang 2020.
Good
Because
plug.
even if you're going to elect just another dumbass who doesn't know what they're doing, not saying that Yang is that way, but at least you get $1,000 a month for it.
Yeah.
That's
If nothing
that's
else,
an interesting argument. I've
Every
never heard that
adult in
one.
your house, you and all of your college shithead friends, $4,000 a month.
One of the biggest things that Andrew Yang actually brought up that was, and say I still don't exactly know how I feel about UBI,
Yeah.
but why are we not taxing? You know, why are we not holding these like Silicon Valley companies like Facebook and all them accountable for some taxes? I know that there's loopholes in the tax laws, but some of them need to be closed at this point. It's ridiculous that companies that report such giant profits are paying nothing.
You know,
and it doesn't even have to be a high
sugar
tax,
companies?
like a 1% tax.
You know the thing about sugar companies?
What?
About the sugar companies we saw today.
Yeah. You talking
They
about
can get
rotten?
away with anything.
Yeah, I know they can.
So they're not going to get taxed because they don't want to be taxed.
Well, and that's the thing. They hire. That's part of the competence scaling with money. So they hire the literal best lawyers in the country at fighting litigation, and they even if they fucking can't win, and they know they can't win, they'll just stall it in court for a decade until whoever's pointing it out dies.
Think about just how evil a lot of people are, like innately. Well, maybe not even evil necessarily, but how easy it is for a person to look past like things.
It's
that-
greed.
Isn't that
Yeah,
kind of
past things that
sociopathic?
other people are doing just for money.
Yeah.
Is that
It
not
was
kind
like
of
all them-
sociopathic?
Sociopathic.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's full blown.
I think it would be if
It's
you can
not
just
full blown
ignore.
sociopath.
I think it is if you can ignore the suffering that you're causing to so many people.
Well, they don't.
no
They don't
guilt?
see it
They
every
don't ever see
day.
it.
They know what's happening now.
They know-
You'd be a fucking idiot if you don't know what's happening.
I mean, I know that.
Well,
shit's
no,
happening
it's-
in
it's
Africa,
really
but I'm not
easy.
guilty
Yeah,
about
but when you're the cause of it,
Empathy is often only in line of sight, though.
it. Yeah.
That's like, think about this too. Like congressmen and people that used to be against, gay rights and stuff. If it happens to somebody in their family, they're more likely to, see the
Change
light,
their
and then they've
mind,
actually
yeah.
came out about stuff like that. Like I say, empathy only is in line of sight. People don't think about that. That's like them lawyers. Like we watching them sugar.
Well, they have
that
to
sugar
think about
documentary.
it.
It's destroyed part of the Everglades in Florida, but they're not there every day. They don't live there. Their kids don't live there.
Yeah.
Why does it matter to them? The ones that are the most shocking to me are the ones that are the ones that know that the climate is changing,
And just deny it outright.
deny it outright for money. That's such a sick thing.
And that's again, like, we have people here that don't even have the foresight. I mean, what is it? It's something like 70% of America couldn't withstand $1,000 blow to their budget.
Oh
It
yeah,
would
you don't
literally,
have the
like,
money.
Bankrupt them.
Yeah,
We can't even budget to save, to have savings for an emergency. We're in that situation. If I had a car crash, it'd be over. It'd be over for us.
and yet
There's
you
some
have
TSP account.
individuals and companies that they're making
Same.
more profits than they've ever made.
Yeah. But they've gotten to there. Imagining them being like worried that in 70 years, when they're already 70, probably 50 to 60, and they're not going to live to 120. What?
Yeah,
Who fucking cares?
exactly.
And it's scary, and it sucks, but it's real.
I'm by no means a socialist. I support capitalism because it's basically, in my opinion, it's probably one of the better systems we have.
what did
Unfortunately,
Andrew Yang call it? His version of capitalism, like realistic capitalism or something.
well, yeah, that's what I was getting at. Total capitalism, unchecked capitalism, is economic Darwinism. If we don't have any social programs, anything like that, people are going to die. People are going to starve to death and die for not being able to play the system.
I just don't remember what he called it.
I don't remember what Yang called it either.
And pure socialism isn't the answer either, because then you
We've already
have no
seen it fail.
incentive really.
We've already seen it fail, so I mean, there's that. But there's no continuous country to take a sample size from like the United States.
Yeah,
There's no other model that is like us.
yeah.
It's just the fuck was
That
that?
was me popping the fly swatter.
I fucking thought the CIA was coming in on us.
You have to be bored as shit.
Yeah, no kidding. There's that problem.
What's CIA?
No. Well, I mean, probably. We have no other thing. There's never been anything like the U.S.
No.
Anytime, anywhere.
It's been this rich.
Well,
That's the argument that some socialists make right there, is that it's never been tried in a country like this.
there's no other. We're as big as most of the UK.
Yeah.
Like, of however many countries are in the UK, we are pretty well bigger.
Yeah.
Like some of our states. In fact, California, I think, has a more per capita fucking GDP than the UK.
Oh yeah, basically.
Or it's like the fifth in the world.
Most countries in Europe are like the size of states here.
But that's what I'm saying. So everyone's like, why don't you just do it like this? Why don't you just do it like this? It's like,
It's not that simple.
it's nowhere near that simple. In a system that Canada's close. Canada's pretty fucking close that we could model some of their healthcare stuff. But, I mean,
I do agree with healthcare because, like, I just don't believe that people should basically have to die or do without. It's just so messed up.
What's the population difference between the U.S. and England?
in England, oh, it's gonna be
A lot.
It's gonna be fast.
Because I know England has a lot of pretty good healthcare, but I don't know what the difference
Well,
is.
and
There is
here-
something in my eye and it's driving me crazy.
The other thing is you're always going to hear about the extremes. You're never going to hear about the average daily person going to the doctor.
Okay, so
Okay, but we
Great
do
Britain,
that, and have we paid the bill?
Great Britain and Northern Ireland have a population of 63.818 million, and what does the United States have? Something like 309 million. It says
There are like
309
20 million
million.
people in LA alone.
So
No,
that's
I don't think
that's
it's 20
very
million,
small
but
fraction.
You should look it up.
Well, not a
It's a lot
small
of people.
fraction, but it's small.
In comparison,
Yeah.
it's big enough numbers that we couldn't fathom them.
Yeah.
Really, realistically.
I forgot I have my phone here.
U.S. population 2019 estimate is 329.45 million.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's way more than I thought.
Yeah. And you said it was what, 60 something million?
67 million.
Yeah, I mean, we're over what, triple of their population?
Yeah.
And that's already 60 million's a lot of people.
Yeah, it is.
That's a whole nother debate there, is can the earth even sustain that kind of population of us?
No,
I think,
I don't know.
well, and everybody is like, somebody cited an article, or not cited, but shared an article the other day that was like, census is showing that we're not breeding enough to keep up with the current population. And I was just like, that's good. Like, what's the problem?
No, we don't need to match China and India.
We don't need to, I'm not saying we need to.
Well, that's like a call for American exceptionalism, saying that, like, oh yeah, we should have as many kids as them. That way we could be the greatest in the world. But we can't always be like that, though. That's a terrible way of thinking. The world still has problems, and we have to also be a part of it. We have to stop looking past, political boundaries, and we have to look at what's best for the world.
Yeah, but
I
no
don't
one's
get-
actually going to do that.
I don't get what angle you're taking right now. Like, are you saying, you're disagreeing with the article?
I'm disagreeing with the article. Yes.
Okay. I got confused by what you were, like, the way you said it.
I was saying that, like, America, the reason that people are saying that we're not keeping up and stuff is because, like, they,
Well, they were talking about
we should
global
have.
population, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, we should have more people, that because America's the best, and we don't want to fall behind all these other countries and stuff. That's the wrong way to look at it, because you got to look at it as people first.
Well, and what I'm saying is, if we stop breeding as much over the world entirely, like, it'd be better. Like, the question of sustainability would be gone. But we'd also lose access to a lot of what we have because the technology hasn't caught up. But I think we're going to get to a point where the technology is so caught up that it won't be, like, it'll probably be at some point, there'll be like mega cities and like lots of wilderness overtaking the world. And it'll be almost like a utopia where we live in like these pods amongst the forest with all of our technology and shit.
You ever seen
Get in the
Elysium?
tube and zoom off to the city, and then we come back.
You ever seen? I think it was Elysium, where they was living, where the rich
Yeah.
people were living in that space station. I could see that happening, man. Like there being some utopia for rich people
Yeah.
that no one else had.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like, what if it ends up being like Mars or the Moon, where they're gonna start these colonies up at, and the rich just go live there, and it's fucking super
Good. It
nice.
looks like
and
29 Palms.
Yeah, Elysium was sad.
It was.
I don't even remember much of it.
It's been a long time, but if I remember, the premise was that they was trying to
I remember the plot of the
get
movie,
to some
but
machine
I
that
don't
could
remember.
like cure cancer or something.
They had medical technology that could basically, like the little girl that is part of the main story.
Yeah.
She had leukemia, I think.
Yeah.
And it can just like scan her and be like, yes, curing leukemia, and cure it off of her.
And they wouldn't let them use it. That's
Yeah,
that
because
was
they're not
such a
citizens.
sad, that was such a sad thing.
Well, and then
But I could see it happening though.
well, they end up at the end of it. Well, I won't spoil it. It's a pretty new movie. But yeah, the premise is them getting up to one of the stations, to one of the cities, to use that medical machine.
It had been a long time since I had read the statistics, so I'm not sure if it still holds up or not, but I remember it being interesting at the time. I believe that the perfume budget of the United States and Europe alone would be enough to probably have sustainable agriculture around the world. It could probably help to end hunger in the world, but we will never spend that money. The perfume budget, perfume, cologne, all that good smelling stuff.
Yeah. Well, and that's Joe had on this business guy, he's what do you call him, a angel investor. And they were talking about all of the human waste and stuff that's on Everest, and the bodies and all that.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, and he was talking about
They're basically using for people who don't know, they're basically using corpses for landmarks on how to get up there.
I mean, you can't take them down.
well, that's like he was talking about it. How do you make anything good happen? You incentivize people to do it. You if you want people to start taking care of Everest, you tax it, so they have to pay taxes just to go up in there and start hiking it and all that, and then use that money to pay people to go up there and do that stuff. And that's the only way to do it. That's
Imagine how dangerous cleaning Everest would be.
Well, at this point, it's cheaper. And this is not on topic with what you were saying, but it's cheaper to import water
From
Fiji than to desalinate ocean water, because there's no incentive for it.
Yeah.
And they were like, there are comets floating around that have more fresh water on them than we would ever need, ever, and we could possibly lasso them. And I think it was.
I just imagine that going horribly wrong, just striking the earth with a fucking
Well, they talked about that. That's one way to get it. But they said if you're smart, you'll get it. You'll get the comet, and you'll just sell it to NASA, because NASA has to pay like $10,000 a pound for a pound of stuff they take into space. So why would you not profit off it?
Because you could sell it exclusively
You
to
could sell it
NASA.
exclusive to NASA.
That way they wouldn't have to ship up their water.
Yeah,
they could ship. They could take so much more booze with them.
You would only have to sell it for like $9,000 a pound, and that would be beneficial to NASA.
Yeah, think about how much water they have to take up with them.
I think of everything.
Because they probably still piss and filter that out and.
I think the next big leaps in technology are going to be battery technology and travel.
Yeah. Yeah, battery technology is coming a long way, and that's one of the only downsides to having smart car. Well, not smart cars necessarily, but electric vehicles, I should say. Is because the range, they've got better range now, but they still don't really quite get there. And if you take, say, a Tesla or something like that, and you use some of the more aggressive starts in it, even though it's fast as fuck, it depletes that battery really, really quickly.
Yeah, we need a way to get individuals to places more efficiently.
Yeah.
And electric cars are one way to go, but eventually it's going to be like what I was talking about, or like in Futurama, where you hop in the tube and you go to work. It's probably not going to be that ridiculous, but when we make that more efficient, whether it be
I mean, the bullet
teleportation,
train is a thing in how many places?
a lot. And there haven't been that many accidents on them.
There's not even a single one in the United States, is there?
A single bullet train?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Well, and then you got Elon doing his tunnel from
Yeah.
LA to New York or something. Or no, it was LA to San Francisco maybe.
He's a hype man. You realize that?
He's a hype guy.
He's a hype guy. He's just trying to, he's trying to get investors on everything.
Well, and that's, I mean, I like that he's thinking outside the box.
I do too. I'm not going to diss Elon at all.
Yeah.
He's doing more than most people are. Developing
I'm
the
slightly
same
disappointed in him,
traditional
though.
bullshit.
I'm slightly disappointed in him, though.
What?
He hasn't come out with a cologne called Elon's Musk.
It could be worn by Elon Tusk. When you can mock yourself on Rick and Morty,
Yeah, that's pretty.
that's the other thing. He's pretty self-aware
Yeah.
that he's weird.
Mm-hmm.
I still have the.
He's not as weird as Mark Zuckerberg, though.
Yeah.
He looks like an alien pretending to be a person.
Yeah.
And that's the weird thing with these social media companies, man. They control so much that they're like basically right now. Some of these social media companies, just a few people in the world are like deciding freedom of speech and the actual national conversation.
And the real
that's
thing
wild.
is if you watch the interviews that Rogan did with Jack Dorsey, the
Yes,
guy over
Twitter.
Twitter, he's not really even cognizant of what's happening anymore. or
No,
in control
no,
of
he's
it.
out of the
That's
loop,
why you have to
man.
have another girl come on with him.
He's trying to act as any CEO would do, and that's create the best platform with the most users, most activity. And I can't blame him for that. If that's your job, that's what you want to do well.
That's the problem when you get that big. You lose
Sight.
yeah, you lose autonomy of
Yeah.
things. You don't, or you have less control of everything that's happening.
I can see that.
Yeah, and that's the thing with America. We're so big now, man. I mean, and then you have like Alabama making incest babies okay, and
It's gonna be known as like the Hills Have Eyes area in the future.
it's already known as that. And we're in Mississippi. We're probably known as that too.
I'm not from here. Don't lump me in with them.
People don't even know.
Well,
like
things are so different, and it's not even that far away, man. Like, just if you go to, I remember I was playing PUBG with a guy from Canada, and I was like, oh man, it'd be nice to live in Canada. It's like, man, you got legal weed, you got free healthcare, all that stuff. He's like, yeah, but we take things for granted too. I mean, like, that's like he was a Canadian dairy farmer, and he was like talking about how awesome it would be to just be able to like carry a gun out on him.
yeah,
He can't do that there. He said that usually, like, you have to like have it cased up, and like if you're going to take it to a vehicle, like if you're going to transport it in a vehicle to go hunting or anything, it's usually got to be locked up in a case with a lock on it and all this damn fancy shit.
that probably depends on his province too.
It probably does. I mean, you're right.
Because once you go further west in Canada, it gets less liberal and less. Like most of the people live on the eastern seaboard,
Yeah.
I think, in Canada. And so it's like the opposite of America in a
Yeah.
way. Except, obviously New York and all that, we have it on both ends. But it's straight up wilderness out in the western side.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's grizzlies and shit out there. You gotta have a fucking gun with you.
Yeah. And so he was talking about that, and I brought up the idea of like, because we was talking about beer, and I was like, man, I don't know if you know what a dry county is. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, it is illegal to possess and buy beer where I live. And he said, that's a thing?
Oh, yeah.
He's like, that sounds like prohibition. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it really is. I mean, I could be arrested for just possessing alcohol if they really wanted to be a dick about it.
Yeah, I
Usually they
forgot
just-
we had a bottle of wine in the trunk.
Yeah.
Is it still in the truck?
Yeah. And when I pulled that jacket, because my other jacket got soaked in the rain, when I pulled that leather one out, it was wrapped
Hadley
up in
could
it.
use some wine.
Are you going to walk up there and get it?
No, but you
Yeah.
could because you love me.
We actually could take a break real quick.
Yeah.
Do we have some cheesy
We're at
intermission to play?
the hour mark anyway.
I need like a really cheesy intermission. Not,
Final
not
Jeopardy.
like that. I was talking more like a Monty Python type one.